LA Rams at Chicago. So look, this opened at 1. I loved it at 1. I did bet it at 2.5 because like as soon as our show was over on Sunday night, sometimes I just shut the computer down and go downstairs and then cry into a pillow. But
We were 2-1 at that point. I'm shocked you didn't bet this. Vibes were good. I bet it. That was a good
uh
call by you. That was a good
it
call.
was a good call by me.
Yeah.
Um I bet it at 2.5. It touched 3 for a minute, went back down to 2.5. The wise guys bet it again. So now it's just sitting at 3. Look, the Rams needed a perfect 4 minutes and 57 seconds to beat the Niners. They had, no joke, according to ESPN's expected win percentage, a 5% chance to win that game. And everything went right. Jordan Mason had just converted a 2nd and 1. The Niners were up 24-17. After that, the Niners had a penalty, couldn't advance the ball, missed a 55-yard field goal. They then gave up a touchdown in 3 plays, couldn't advance the ball again, gave up a 38-yard punt return, committed 3 penalties in 1 play, including a 28-yard pass interference, and allowed the game-winning kick. That is as lucky as you can get in the exact environment you want to get lucky, which is at home against your biggest rival as a huge underdog with so much of your roster injured, including your 2 top receivers, most of your offensive line, your defense still figuring out who they are. And as we talked about on Sunday night, the Bears were only down 7-3 at the end of the third before Indy scored a touchdown with 30 seconds left in the third quarter. They were down 14-9 late in the fourth. Like, they were the comedy of errors for an entire game that the Niners were for those last 5 minutes. Like you have to expect the Bears' luck to improve and the Rams to regress and the Bears to be in a better spot with a good, very good pass rush against an offensive line that I still think is seriously in trouble.
Yeah, and we got an early sharp call about this pick from our Sunday night show. And a guy was saying to me, you guys are pretty confident on that Chicago's pick. And I said, yeah. And obviously we looked smart because the number moved the way we talked about it. But his view of it was you're getting McVay and Stafford against a rookie quarterback and a coach that he thinks is an idiot and evil flu. So I get where he's coming from, Chad. But me and you have to look past that sometimes and kind of play the situation and the number and the matchup. And I agree with you. I like this matchup for this Bears team. Now, the fear is, will Williams make the throws? Because he had a couple throws in that game against the Colts where it's like, this is why you're the number 1 pick. Like, you have so much talent. There's so much there. But me and you question your OC, and for good reason. It's just like the inconsistency, the play calling sometimes is just so terrible. So I get people's pushback and hesitation. But 2.5 is still under 3. It's such a nice number. Like, I could see this being one of the favorites we do take this week. Matchup wise, that Rams secondary, they made Kyler Murray look like a Hall of Famer. Then last week, Brock Purdy had an incredible game as well. He was not the reason they lost that game. If you go look in his stats, he played really well. He threw for over 300 yards. I think he had 3 touchdowns, all to Jennings. There's going to be plays to be had, especially with DJ Moore and Odunze. Like Odunze, it looked like he really started figuring it out last week against that Colts team about running those patterns and how to get open. And there's just a lot I like right now for this Bears team. And I'm trying not to let you influence me with your love for it as well. Because, these early lines we get on it, like I already bet them at -1. I still like the value, like Chad just said, at this number. But at what point does that change, right? If this does get to 3.5 in our contest, no, me and Chad would not be taking that number and putting the contest. So 2.5, I like it with you. Once it crosses that 3 and we start getting up there as the week goes along here, because, I do think hopefully the public will come in on this Rams team. So maybe we get a better number here. But 2.5, I'm still comfortable with taking that with this Bears team.
Simon,
Yeah.
not even already incompetent Bears offensive coordinator Shane Waldron can keep me from making this my executive decision.
Oh, shit.
Exec decision. There we go. I'm doing it. It's amazing how much I actually think I love the Bears GM. I love the maneuvering he's done to get the Bears talent, to get the Bears draft picks the last couple of years. You get a little bit lucky, but you put yourself in a position to be lucky
Yeah.
by doing what he did. Why this team did not get rid of Eberflus, why this team brought in Shane Waldron, who, like, even the Seahawks receivers last year, Jackson Smith and Jigba, was so glad to get rid of this guy. Like, couldn't fake how much he thought it was an upgrade to get rid of Shane Waldron. There's so many great minds out there. Why did they end up with a middling offensive coordinator and a middling record as an offensive coordinator?